So welcome, my name is Nicole Funderburk. I'm from Southern Utah University, and I am the International Recruitment Coordinator at SUU. And we will be talking today about the admission and scholarship process and opportunities available at SUU. So I want to give you an idea first of where SUU is located. We're located in the western United States, in the state of Utah, and we are in the southwest corner of Utah. We're about 2.5 hours from Las Vegas, Nevada, and about 3 hours from Salt Lake City, Utah. And just a really beautiful, charming place. We're surrounded by 13 state and national parks. So Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon, Cedar Breaks. It's a beautiful part of the world. SUU has about 8,000 students on campus, about 400 international students, and we have over 150 different areas of study, and we're just excited that you're considering SUU as an option. Okay, I want to just talk about the process of admission and just get right into the details here. So what we would need from you for the admissions process would be, first, of course, our admissions application, and then that would need to be accompanied by an application fee, which is $55 for ESL and undergraduate applicants, and $65 for graduate applicants. If I could have those of you that are with me kind of indicate your area of study interest, whether that be ESL, undergraduate, or graduate, and also the kind of the subject of study that you're interested in as well. That will help me to kind of tailor some of my comments. So as some of you may do that, I'll continue to talk about the admission process. The next step would be demonstrating proof of English proficiency. Now, if you're applying to the ESL program, this obviously is not required at the time of application. But if you're applying to either an undergraduate program or a graduate program, we are requiring that you demonstrate to us that you have the ability to use the English language. TOEFL would be, our TOEFL requirement would be a 71 for undergrad and 79 for graduate students. And then IELTS is a 6.0 for both undergrad and graduate. In terms of our ESL program, this can be a way to satisfy English proficiency by successfully completing one of our ESL programs or another program that might not be on our campus. Looks like we have a question. The question is, thank you, Katevin, for the question. We do, the question is, do we offer need-based scholarships? And we do. I'll get to that in just a moment after we kind of get through the application procedure. So following that, we would need a copy of your transcripts, whether high school, college, whatever academic transcripts you have. We would need copies of your transcripts. If they are college transcripts, we need officials. But if they are high school transcripts, a copy is fine, a scan, an email. But if it is a, like I said, a college transcript, we need an official transcript through a WES or an evaluation, some kind of an evaluation service. We need a copy of your passport, and then we need a financial statement from you demonstrating the funds that are that you have the funds available to study at Southern Utah University. There's a dollar amount that we require that you demonstrate in a bank statement that you have that amount of money. Okay, so the Arts Administration Graduate Program, Dio, thank you for your kind of comment there. And so you have already applied to the Arts Administration Graduate Program and you're waiting for a call on an interview. Okay, good to know. Thank you for that, that helps. So for you, as you know, since you've already applied, for some additional steps when it comes to admission for graduate students beyond those steps that we just discussed. There might be GMAT requirements, letters of recommendation, interview, as you mentioned, for the Arts Administration program. And so definitely we would need to do a little further research to clarify those additional steps of admission for a graduate program. But what I've described is essentially what we would require for an undergraduate admissions application. So after you submit your application, and Dado, this might be very helpful to you, what happens? We sort the application. Was it on time? Did it meet our deadline? Is it complete? Does it include everything we've asked for? And then things go through preliminary reviews. We review the application forms, transcripts, test scores, letters of recommendation for graduate programs, and personal statements. And then it's sent to the appropriate offices. So then we've sent it from the admissions office to the Arts Administration Department for their review, for their committee to review. And after they typically review those applications, whether it's one person or a team of people. With graduate programs, it's typically a committee of faculty reviewing applicants. And then finally, the information is assembled and decisions are made about those students who are admitted and not admitted and that kind of thing. So it is quite a process, and so we appreciate your patience through the application process. Okay, any questions before I move on to scholarships? Are there any questions about admission? Okay, well, we can always go back to them if there are later. But I want to talk next about scholarships for international students. At Southern Utah University, our admissions application sort of serves as our scholarship application. As if you apply for admission, by certain deadlines, we will automatically consider you for scholarships. Just have a question here. So in terms of your question, Dado, about the Arts Administration, I don't believe, did you submit a visual arts portfolio? I'm trying to see your complete question. I'm not sure if I can see all of it, but I'm not sure what you've sent, but I'm sure that whatever you have to be sent is helpful for the committee to make their decision. I don't know that they request recordings and portfolios. Those are typically for undergraduate students who are trying to apply for scholarships, for auditioning for scholarships for music or theater or art. But if you've just submitted kind of what they've requested, you should be fine, which I don't think they request a portfolio. It's a sort of a resume that they request. Okay, so Ketevan, your question is great, thank you. What if I cannot provide any financial statement, but I can provide financial need? So we're going to talk about that right now. We offer scholarships at SUU, and as I mentioned, our admissions application serves as a scholarship application. However, let me get to that in just one moment. I want to talk about what we can see right here in front of us, our deadlines. So March 1st is the priority deadline for international students. So we want to have you apply to the university before March 1st so that you can be considered for the best scholarships. Now, it says our final scholarship deadline is May 1st, but it is sort of a first come, first serve process. And then scholarship types are listed here at the bottom. So we have a 4-year $8,500 scholarship, a 4-year $6,000 scholarship, and a 4-year $3,000 scholarship. And there are multiple awards like this. It's not just that we have these 3 single scholarships. We have several versions of each of these. But the sooner you apply, the better. And like I said, first come, first serve. So what if you have financial need, you don't have the ability to submit the financial statement in its entirety prior to, as part of the application process? So we have something called pre-authorized scholarships. I'll kind of jump ahead to. So in order to receive a pre-authorized scholarship, you can submit the following items to our intladm@suu.edu. It's on our, it's kind of our application email. So if you submit your admissions application, whether it's for ESL, undergraduate, or graduate, we need to have an email address for you. So you submit the application and the application fee, and then a copy of your passport and a copy of your official transcripts. If your grades, because that's kind of our first factor of consideration, is your GPA, which we convert upon your transcript. Upon receipt of these 4 items, we can see that you have qualified for one of our academic scholarships, then we will give you a pre-authorized award letter indicating this is the scholarship that we believe that you would receive, so that you can factor that dollar amount into your financial statements. So for example, if your grades qualified you for our International Founders Scholarship, the $8,500 per year, then you could deduct that amount from your financial statement, and your bank statement would have to demonstrate that much less on it. So it can help with that a little bit. Of course, our financial statement form requires the total cost that you're demonstrating includes housing, books, room and board, other things, and so we definitely still would need a financial statement from you at some point to demonstrate that you have the ability to pay for some of the cost. And unfortunately, we do not offer at SUU an entire full ride scholarship that would cover all of the costs. We do have some scholarships available for students once they arrive at SUU that are in addition to these awards that can help with housing costs. But upon entry for a new incoming student, these are sort of the options that we have available for international students. Now, we do consider a number of factors when we're awarding scholarships. So first of all, including academic merit, your GPA, as I mentioned. And so that is the first thing that we consider. However, we are also looking at geographic distribution and financial need. So we have certain parts of the world that we really want to focus on that maybe we don't have as many students from, and we want to take that into account when we're awarding scholarships. And then also there are individuals with financial need that we recognize, and so the pre-authorized process could be a place for you to kind of in an email indicate your need, describe the need that you have, and we as a committee, the committee can certainly review that and consider that. If we have a question here, do we offer work-study programs? Yes, Kevin, thank you for your question. Do we offer work-study programs? We do at SUU. Students who are on an F1 visa, international students that can work on campus, we will allow them to work up to 20 hours a week, and it's typically minimum wage, which is $7.25 an hour. And there are a variety of jobs available on campus, and we encourage international students to apply for them. We can't guarantee anything, but we welcome you to come and apply for those positions. And if you are very serious about it and continue to apply and are really interested in just working to earn money to pay for your schooling, it should work out for you. You should be able to find something on campus. Now, we also have work-study options off campus if there is a position or a job off campus that can be kind of demonstrated that it's needed for your academic major. So, for example, if I was a communication major and one of the academic choices for me was to take an internship, and I found a job off campus for a newspaper or something where they'd be willing to pay me, and I was sort of doing an internship in that industry of communication, then the students can work off campus as well in that scenario. Amel, you've already received pre-authorized scholarship, but you don't have the additional amount. And so it looks like you're in communication with our track and field coach. So, yeah, I would just encourage you to continue to communicate with our track and field coach to see if there is an additional opportunity there for you. Like I said, I don't have the capacity to offer full ride scholarships to international students. Now, our athletic teams can be a little bit different, and they may have more resources and more of an ability to offer more money, and a lot of times we can work together in terms of combining the athletic award that they have for you with the award that I have available. And so I would encourage you to continue to communicate with them. Thank you for the question, Dotto. Will SUU require GMAT or GRE for scholarship, even if it was not required for admission? Just kind of a follow-up question for you there. Are you considering a graduate program? Oh, you are, sorry, yes, you are applying to the Arts Administration. So, no, I know the Arts Administration program does not require the GRE or the GMAT, but would they, you know, kind of require that if you were wanting to be considered for scholarships? Are you familiar with the kind of the differences in our Arts Administration program, that we have one that is online and then we have one that is live? We have an MFA, a Master of Fine Arts in Arts Administration, that is a live program on campus. And then we offer an online version of that. So as an international student, you can certainly do the program online, but you would have to remain in your home country because the F1 visa limits the number of online classes that you can take. So you just really couldn't come here to our campus physically to participate, okay, in an online program. So, but you have applied for the live campus program. Now, with the Arts Administration program, they see about 40 applicants a year, and about 5 students are admitted. So it's very selective and competitive. Of those 5 students that are admitted, they receive funding. However, that funding that they have cannot be used for international students. Therefore, the program has kind of made a choice to not really admit international students in their program unless the students are full pay. The students say, you know, I can come and I can pay the entire amount on my own. I do not require a scholarship. Or, you know, if something from the general scholarship program was received. So the GMAT or GRE, unfortunately, wouldn't help you in getting a scholarship from the Arts Administration program. In a sense, they don't have the capacity. The funding that they have does not, cannot be used for international students. So if you can come and do the program, you know, if you're admitted, they give you that option to come and do the program at full price to you. That would be one option for you. And then the other option would be if you receive something from the general scholarship fund. And I'm not sure if when you applied, if our scholarship process was in place and happening at that point, but I would be happy to consider you and kind of take a look at your grades to see if you do qualify for our general international student scholarships that can be given to undergraduate or graduate students. Students who begin in ESL, they can receive our scholarships, but they don't go into effect until they're enrolled in our undergraduate or graduate program. But the cost of our ESL program is very affordable, significantly less than our undergraduate and graduate studies. So, Kevin, when it comes to thank you for your question about the maximum amount of scholarships that can be offered, or money that can be offered to students with financial need. I think that we're somewhat limited in the amount of money that we can award to an international student. It cannot exceed the non-resident portion of your cost. So the resident, for example, non-resident tuition per semester is about nearly $9,000. Resident tuition per semester is around $3,000. So the most we could discount would be $6,000 per semester, and so that would be $12,000 a year. However, when it comes to athletes, there are different rules that apply, and so that may be different, and I can't speak to that as clearly because I'm not allowed to. So you'd have to speak with the coaches about that. They have NCAA requirements that control what they can and can't do. So, let's see, we may have. Yes, I can certainly follow up with, can you tell me which coach did you email? Eric Huel? I can ensure that he received your email. I know that the coaches, like I said, they have NCAA requirements that prohibit them from speaking to students at certain times of the year, and so that may be why, or he's in a busy time. I'm not sure. Have you sent him? A lot of times, I know our coaches, they want to hear from your coach. So they would like for your coach to contact our coach, so that it's not you saying, I'm a superior athlete, you should consider me, but it's a third party, a third opinion, saying, this student, this athlete, I'm her coach, I'm their coach, and I believe that they would be a good fit for your team. A lot of times the coaches really appreciate that type of communication, where your coach can communicate directly with our coach, and that may be more effective for you if you want to consider that. Okay, are there any additional questions about scholarships or the scholarship process? Okay. Well, that is all of the information that I have prepared for kind of the admissions and scholarship information. So if there are additional questions, I'm happy to continue to stay on and answer those questions for you, whether they be related to admissions and scholarships or not. And I'm assuming I will get information with your email address after, but if you wouldn't mind entering your email address into the chat screen, then I can follow up with each one of you individually with kind of some of those things that we've talked about. Okay, if getting admitted, what time does it take to be, thank you for your question, what time does it take to be nominated for general scholarships? What is the average time? With regard to admission, if you've applied before the deadline, it typically takes a couple of weeks before you would hear back. And with the Arts Administration program, but I believe they kind of wait until their deadline, and so they have all of the applications come in, and then they make a decision on all of the applicants at once. And so that will be coming up. I believe their deadline is February 1st, and so at that point they would begin to consider all of the applicants. Now, in your situation, like I said, I'd love to have your email address so I can follow up with you and take a look at your transcripts to see if you do qualify for one of our general scholarships. I'm just wondering if you've applied prior to when we have the process in place for awarding scholarships for international students. And if that's the case, then I will absolutely just consider you. So if you want to kind of leave your email address here, then I can look your information up that way in the system and follow up with you via email and let you know if your transcripts would qualify you for a general international scholarship, and if that would help make it feasible for you to come and enroll in the program. Like I said, I don't believe you'll be able to receive funding from, thank you for providing your email, I don't believe you'll be able to receive the funding that the program offers, as it can't be given to international students. So, but I can look at it as soon as our presentation is done and tell you, and then we would make that award, and it wouldn't be, because we're before the deadline, it would just be kind of pretty instantaneous that we could offer that award to you. Now, it wouldn't pay or go into effect until the semester you begin and enroll in classes, I'm assuming fall of 2015, this coming fall. So I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? And thanks for your email addresses. That helps me to follow up with each of you. All right, if there aren't any more questions, thank you so much for your time. And I'll be in touch with each of you via email very soon. And thank you and have a great day.